Well, hello, everyone. I'm Jen Worth, and I'm honored to be the Senior Vice President for the American Association of Community Colleges, Academic and Workforce Development, and we have a pretty phenomenal, and by that I mean rock star panel for you here today. Thanks to the band Metallica for starting an All Within My Hands Foundation, we've assembled this panel to bring a little bit of that music and manufacturing and rock star world to this conference. I'm going to do a quick round of intros, and then I'm going to ask some general questions, and we'll do some open Q&A. Renée Richardson, a dear friend of mine, leads the All Within My Hands Foundation on behalf of the band. Thank you so much for that, Renée. I would love to also ask you to tell us a little bit about how you elevated the dignity of the trades and why the foundation invested in career and technical education.
So Metallica has always given back to the communities where they have played. They have found that feeding people is important to them. They've found that critical local services in the form of disaster relief is important to them. And it was James Hetfield who stood up and said, hang on, why are my kids not being told they can become manufacturers, they can get into the auto industry, they can become plumbers, welders, all of the things. And so it was then in 2019 that the foundation was born. Do we have the video?
And I think we have...
so we have a video to show that tells a little bit more about it in a very exciting way. Is that video ready to go? No.
No worries.
It's all good. Okay.
We're going to move into our next introduction, and then I'll keep going down the line. Craig McAtee, thank you so much for being the Executive Director for the National Coalition of Advanced Technology Centers. NCATC is arguably the sharpest end of the spear when it comes to advanced manufacturing at our community colleges across the country. Craig, could you share a little bit about what you do at NCATC and how your network keeps businesses and community colleges connected, please?
Sure. Well, thanks, Jen, and thanks, Renee, for all you guys are doing for getting students more involved in our training across the nation for manufacturing. NCATC, as we go by, is formed in 1988. Ironically, that was the first year I came to my first IMTS show, I just found out. So I was actually in manufacturing at the time until the end of the century last year, or last century. But NCATC was formed with two large organizations, IBM and Lucent Technologies, and 7 community colleges back in '88. And we've now come full forward. We've got over 180 community colleges of the 1,200 that Jen represents in the nation, focused on advanced manufacturing and technologies in training the workforce of the future. But we've also got 51 corporate strategic partners like Fanuc Robotics, Lincoln Electric, Haas Automation, et cetera. And those folks are at our beck and call every day to help do a better job in our labs across the country with training, hands-on experiential learning. Our industry really looks for skills, knowledge, and abilities, that competency-based approach on how people can get a new job or a better job or a first-time job in manufacturing. And that's what we pride ourselves on. And thanks to Renee and Jen, we are really raising the level of what that is here today.
Well, I'm thrilled to be on the stage with you, too. Yeah. I'd like to also introduce a very dear friend, Andrew Carrasco. As AACC runs the Metallica Scholars Initiative across the entire country, we've been in over 60 locations right now. We're in all 50 states in the territory of Guam. So if you are in any state, you will find a Metallica Scholars institution. Out of all the thousands of students that we educated and trained in career and tech ed over the last 6 years, we needed to find one to represent all of them, and that student is Andrew. And I'm delighted, Andrew, that you are here today. Would you mind just introducing yourself and telling us a little bit about what you learned as a Metallica Scholar and what you thought was most important for you to learn about companies and where you're going to go in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I noticed companies are looking for are students who not only have theoretical knowledge, but a hands-on attitude, and students that are willing to take that theory and apply it to real-world solutions. And I think some of the programs for automation and mechatronics do a great job in helping students prepare for the industry. And as for my future, I definitely want to become an engineer. I think right now, as an automation technician and my experience with PLCs and robotic arms, that's definitely going to help me. And as I pursue my education, and finish up my bachelor's, I hope to work on projects that will push the boundaries of technology.
That's amazing. Thank you. I am curious now as I open it up to you guys in sort of a group format. Please feel free to answer as you wish. But in these ever evolving and changing technology fields, why are community and technical colleges so important? I know why when I sit in Washington, D.C., and we talk to foundations, federal agencies, or corporations, they really are the nexus of industry relevant, affordable, rapid education and training, but that's from my association lens. Where do you sit with that question as a student, as a leader, and as a foundation?
I'll start. For us as a foundation, when we knew we wanted to get into education and specifically trade work, we knew Metallica, they're not going to know a thing about education. They know rock and roll, but they're not going to know where to find these students and where to educate these folks. So we teamed up with the AACC specifically because community colleges have their finger on the pulse of what is working for the community and where the jobs are. And then our sole purpose was to get in there and go, hey, all education is amazing, but why is nobody focusing on the trades? Why are there so many wonderful manufacturing jobs and nobody is talking about it? We have the spotlight that we can shine on it, so that was our decision to go with AACC and go through the community college level. It's affordable, it's in the community, everybody knows where to find it, and it's probably the fastest way to get the training you need.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Well, for me, real quick, basically, the two companies that came together back in '88, they were actually trying to figure out how they were going to train across the country the folks that were going to be laying out the backbone of the internet.
Right.
And those were telecom technicians, and that technician level is the community college's sweet spot.
Yes.
For every one PhD in any field in this country or the world, there are at least 2 engineers doing the actual theory that they researched and developed. But for those 2 engineers, there are minimum 7 technicians needed to actually deploy that solution, maintain that solution, and keep it running. So it is really important that those skills and knowledge of those technicians are part of the ecosystem that we keep going. And that's what most of the industry here is looking for, technicians and makers.
Yes.
So, yeah. How about you?
I think companies are looking for technicians who are eager, willing to learn, and just people who are willing to build new skills. I think that's so important in manufacturing when every day is different, new technologies are evolving. So people who are able to adapt and are excited to adapt, I think helps society grow. And technicians are really the background for manufacturing. The backbone of manufacturing.
Yep.
They got to keep everything running to make sure product is on time and everyone gets what they need.
No, that's fantastic. I will say, people think of this band around the world as a family member. I mean, they always talk about how they are part of a show or how they are part of an experience. But I must say that the foundation has really gone above and beyond in their relationship together with community colleges, their elevation, and again, their dignifying of the trades. So I am so thankful for that investment. And I will say, they really do commit. They read the stories of our students. They really do go and visit those campuses. So I ask this in all sincerity, if you are a company or you are a potential partner or you want to be a student and you are currently in this environment or at this event, this is not something that you cannot touch and not be a part of. Right. There is a Metallica Scholar initiative in your state. There is absolutely an opportunity for you to reach out to me and my fellow panelists to figure out how you can become a part of this ecosystem, because this is not just something shiny. We like to put on the stage and show off and keep to ourselves. That whole being loud and proud is wonderful and something that we absolutely want to share together with you. So if you're interested, please reach out to me, and I'm happy to connect you with my panelists. But Renee, Craig, or Andrew, what would you suggest people do if they're a company or they want to be a student? What would you say?
So, selfishly, I would say look for a Metallica Scholar School.
Right.
That's where I would start, because we've found with this program that the students coming out of it are getting jobs right away. It's working. We started this program in 2019, and here we are 6 years into it, over 8,000 students trained and out there and working. So that's why we keep it going. We've invested about $10 million into this program. So the first thing I would say is find out if there's a Metallica Scholars School near you. And I mean, listen to Metallica.
That's right. That's the right answer. Yes.
So
Absolutely.
But yeah, reach out to your local community college.
Yeah.
They know what's up.
And that's a great point. But a lot of folks, and I spent 25 years in manufacturing, as I told you, but I also have now spent almost that long in education and workforce development, which is weird because it happened at the turn of the century.
Yes.
So, but what I learned my first couple years in community college was businesses don't speak education.
Right.
And they don't speak government, where the grants and things come from a lot of times, like DOL and NSF, et cetera. So what we have to do is translate. What I suggest for any industry, small, medium, or large, get in touch with your college president that's in your community and or the workforce division of the college, because that's where most of this training is actually going on.
Yep.
Right.
And then be part of their advisory committee or business and industry leadership team, where you can impact not only the curriculum, but their offer to be an adjunct professor, offer for tours of your company so students actually see what's behind the walls of manufacturing, and actually help them every year do a better job. And then you get to know the students on the ground, and you have first dibs on those students to hire them for your company. I will tell you, that works in spades going across the nation. That is one of the best things you can do, is get involved. And I always tell people, one thing I tell them because I came from manufacturing, if you're not part of the solution for the workforce gap that we have, you are unfortunately part of the problem. So get in there and help.
Can I tell a quick story?
I have one for you too, but yeah, go ahead.
A quick story on that, because you bring up the idea of getting those workers and getting in them, training them yourself. Something we started, which was brand new for the band. Metallica has many, many vendors. You think about a band that's going out on tour. You have carpentry workers, you have light riggers, you have truck drivers, you have so much stuff being built every minute of every tour. And there are companies that provide those trained, skilled professionals to build those sets, design those things, send those folks out on tour with the band. So for the first time, we started a program with College of Lake County, which is not too far from here.
Right.
Thanks for Andrew.
And that program is now training students in all the parts that come along with entertainment, not just the theater part of it, but like I said, the light rigging, the electrical work, all of the different things. And we have now this program, and we've got our first 2 apprentices that have started with one of our partner companies, which is Upstaging. So everything you were saying about getting them on the floor of your plant, for lack of a better word, getting them on the floor there, you get to see where their skills are and then put them in the right position. So I'm just excited because we finally got to see that in action at your school.
No, that's the first call that I ever received, actually. So the foundation picked up the phone and said, no, this is really the band calling you. And I thought, no, truly. But it was, in fact, a reality. One of their fathers actually was a truck driver, and so he said, we just want to support CDL. And that's great. And we do have, community colleges, and we do train drivers, and we do support the logistics industries. But when we had the conversation go a little further, the reality was they had electricians, they had HVAC workers, they had construction and set designers, they had culinary arts that were feeding the band along the way in the different stops. Like, all of those trades are real, they are needed, and they are not something that you have to go get a PhD to do. We can train people more affordably, more rapidly, and give them really elevated experiences. And the people that work with that band behave like a family. It is a community of individuals, and what they build and they, I would say, expand on as they stop in their tour stations and as they fund this work through the foundation does deal with things like disaster and food insecurity, but their doubling down in career and tech ed is something that they are unapologetic about, and it is just a pleasure to be a part of this. So again, I really think that there is an opportunity here for us to not just think about one facet. This arena, as I've been able to walk around Chicago, is just a beautiful example of the modern and elevated world of technology and relationship to the trades. So we're really thrilled to be here, and also start talking about a little bit earlier education. We can't actually wait until somebody is in their early 20s to begin to go down some of these advanced manufacturing and progressive talent pipelines. So we at community colleges are looking at how do we connect with the K-12 system? How do we get dual enrollment students? And Craig, isn't there a group actually meeting here, one floor down, in fact, to try to talk about all of these programs, just like we're doing at Metallica? Could you share a little bit about that?
Sure. I would hope that I could encourage all of you to make a jaunt across the bridge and then down to the next floor down and just follow the carpet that's kind of striped. And what they put on here, thanks to Greg Jones at SME and Catherine Ross at AMT, is what they call a student summit.
Really
and what that is they've invited over almost 20,000 students through this whole week to come and actually experience all these great companies and what training they're doing with community colleges and high schools across the nation. And they're coming in and getting to play with a robot, getting to understand more about AI, getting to do more things with CNC machining and welding and all these things that are important for construction as well as manufacturing trades. And they have a real firsthand view of all these things that they could be part of. And that's a really great event. So please come down to the Student Summit before you leave.
Yes.
I think you'll be impressed.
Yes.
Hey, Andrew, when you first started getting into this field, what sort of sparked it for you? Were you doing manufacturing things like when you were a child? What was it that really launched you into this universe?
Yeah, it was mostly the hands-on aspect, I think, just tinkering with things, figuring out how they work, why they work.
Yeah.
And just the enjoyment you get when you're like, wow, I fixed that, or I built that, or I designed that. It's incredible.
Yeah, I think it's a really wonderful thing that you launched, and thank you for representing all of those students.
That's right.
Right now, our statistics have proven over the last 6 years that, again, we've touched over 1,000 lives, thousands of lives in every state, and I can tell you we are in no less than about 100 different occupational areas thanks to your investment. But our community and technical colleges across the country are everywhere. We're in urban areas, we're in rural, we're on tribal land and territories, but to every single one of them, there are students that need to get that applied skill knowledge, and that application happens in no better place than in our fab labs, in our maker spaces. We pair them frequently with our small business development centers and other ways to also launch and leverage businesses. So when you learn the craft or the trade, you can actually go on and be your own business owner. There's all these different things that the community college resources will give you. And many people don't know because they still think of what they might have seen, decades ago. So if you haven't put your feet on a community college campus in the last, 5-10 years, please, I beg of you. I think you'll be quite shocked at what you'll go see. And these are open and accessible, clean and bright spaces that could truly elevate and dignify what you perceive your future opportunities to be. Anyone have thoughts about their local community college you'd like to share? If the Chicago area is in their near future, tell them about CLC maybe.
Yeah, the CLC has amazing hands-on programs. And like I said earlier, it's not just theory. It's like we're working on actual robots, cutting-edge technology. And when I got into my first job as an automation technician, I was really surprised on how easy everything became because of that program. So it's an awesome blessing to be able to be a part of that and still be a part of that.
Thanks. And for the Cleveland audiences and the people that are in the Ohio universe, there's an array of beautiful community colleges there. But Craig, could you just name a few that are in your space?
In
Cleveland?
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Well, Cleveland's the home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I mean, that's the
And
best
just so
part.
you know,
I knew you'd
Metallica
bring it
was
up. You had
inducted
to
in
bring it up.
2009.
That's
I thought
right.
about wearing that shirt, but I decided not to. But anyhow,
Best museum.
Cleveland's got Cuyahoga Community College right downtown in Cleveland across the entire area, Lorain County Community College, Stark Tech, Columbus State Community College, some amazing colleges across the 22 of them.
Yeah.
So we've got some really, and we work with most of them. And you know, Intel's bringing their new factory into a lot of states, including Ohio, and that's a whole nother world of semiconductor technicians. But a lot of the core competencies that they need as a semiconductor chips person is mechatronics, and a lot of you probably already know hydraulics, pneumatics, electrical, mechanical, and PLCs are the 5 disciplines there. If you've got that, you got 60% of any job that you need in automation.
That's amazing.
So it's amazing.
And Renee, what was the last community college you went to visit? I think we traveled together.
The last community, I think it was College of Lake County.
Oh, could have been.
Yeah, College of Lake County. I'm trying to think though, because I was recently in Rockland. I didn't go to RCC, but College of Lake County, which they have this new technology center that is out of this world. It's in a former Lowe's, which is interesting. But it's all glass on the outside, and you can just see everything. And like Jen was saying, just how clean and easy it is to understand what you're looking at.
Well, I know that we like to start and end loud, and again, that band is pretty unapologetic, but before you guys start to wave to us and want to visit, because we want to see you at the end of this, get our business cards. Do follow up with us.
Yes.
You can find me. It's not hard. You can find my fellow panelists. We have resources and we have networks to give you. But before we wrap up, we do want to show you a brief video.
Correct.
Renee, do you want to intro that?
Yes, so the band Metallica, as I started to say earlier, they've always given back to the communities that support them on tour. They formed the foundation in 2019, and this little video, we're having a benefit concert in December. This video tells the story of our foundation, and I think you'll see some familiar faces, so take it away.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
Hey. Welcome.
We'd like to spend a few moments to talk to you about
the All Within My Hands Foundation.
All Within My Hands is a philanthropic organization created by the members and management of Metallica, dedicated to creating sustainable communities through workforce education in the trades, the fight against hunger, and critical local services.
Let's go! Let's make the world a better place.
Women don't weld. Like, what are you talking about?
You know, growing up in a blue-collar home, the workforce was a really important thing to especially me.
Trade education gets overlooked.
One of the positive outcomes of COVID, you saw who are the essential workers? The people manufacturing and producing.
We have 11 million open jobs right now, today, that don't require a 4-year degree, they require training.
Students face a lot of challenges.
I've walked out of colleges 2 times because of the amount I saw on the piece of paper.
The scholarship is really giving that bridge of support.
It's life-changing. Give me job opportunities, not just work a dead-end job.
This has been very transformational.
We don't want our students to continue the cycle of job seeking.
I found something that I was passionate about. This path has given me a job that pays twice as much as I was getting paid.
Without this help, I'd still be working a 9 to 5, trying to get money just to buy my tools.
Now, one day I'll be able to have a family and provide for them.
Nobody should go to bed hungry at night.
The Metallica organization was very aware of Jose Andres and World Central Kitchen and his concept of every person has a right to food. And they help make this happen by working with the local community.
With the Metallica Gives Back campaign, they donate a portion of every ticket sold throughout their tours to local food banks.
What I feel, what I've known, never shine to what I've shown, never be.
I family, their open hearts, their open minds, their willingness to grow along with us.
As a family and a community to spread out and give back to the entire world. Everybody gets together from all over the country and jumps in.
Every dollar that's contributed goes to the cause. You know where the money's going? It's going to the right place.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
What you're doing is amazing.
Thank you, thank you, thank you again.
Just to make sure that we stay and maximize the time with you, I'm going to let you know that those wrenches are just as relevant as the world's smallest functional wrenches, which are hanging from my earlobes right now. But those band members do touch our stuff. They do weld with us. They do woodworking with our students. They really have been committed and passionate about it. So I am just thrilled to be able to represent this work here and now. And to the foundation, Renee, I do believe that your vision for where this could go in the future, we can never promise that we're going to be at every single community college, but I can tell you that for every time we put out a call for community colleges to join in and become a Metallica Scholar College, we probably receive hundreds of applications that we cannot connect because there just are budget constraints. So if you are a company partner out there and you want to connect with us, I do encourage you to partner. But Renee, do you have any thoughts about the future of this work? Should all things continue to go in a positive way?
Well, the band will say this over and over, we're just getting started. So this has been the crown jewel of what the foundation has been about. So seeing people get into these trade jobs and get into manufacturing and make a better lives for themselves. So it's going to keep rolling. And the thing that is making it possible for us, sure, as long as the band keeps touring, we'll be able to bring money into this foundation and put it back out into the community. But the other thing is partnerships. We have some really incredible partnerships that have been growing over the last 5 years since we started this thing. Carhartt has been with us every step of the way. Wolverine, Boots and Apparel, they've been with us every step of the way. And so many other companies can see how we can work together. And if you have the aligned mission values that we do, we can just amplify whatever it is you want. So we think this will be going a very long time, my friend.
I'd like to say that. So in effect, anyone who's still listening to this and who still wants to see that partnership in reality, we actually brought shirts.
We did.
So they're here, and anybody who wants to grab one can come meet me right in the very front because we've got a bunch of swag that came from the band and some of our industry partners, so don't forget to grab some of those things. Yeah. But I would actually like to say, Craig McAtee, National Coalition for Advanced Technology Centers, you have events just like we do, but if they are going to partner and they want to be a part of conferences, I do always like to pitch AACC's Workforce Development Institute. It's in San Diego. It's at the end of January. I do hope you guys will come there and watch this same kind of a panel, hopefully with the foundation back again, showcasing what we've done with other students like Andrew. But Craig, can you tell them a little bit about the conference that you run? Because I want to plug that for sure.
Thank you. Well, it's ironic. We're in Wisconsin, Racine, Wisconsin, 2 weeks from today with our conference. And we've got about 200 of our favorite people there. We've got 32 of the corporate strategic partners exhibiting and sponsoring that event, including Microsoft in AI for manufacturing. So it's a really great event. Nice. And I want to brag about College of Lake County. we actually came in 5 or 7 years ago, I can't remember, and actually did a community research about what they needed to build that new Advanced Technology Center. And that was us giving them a report, a guideline to actually get the programs lined up for people like Andrew. So I can't wait to come back to IMTS and see Andrew at a company that he's already running or part of as an engineer in the future IMTS. So we're really proud of that, but thanks for our conference is coming up. 2 weeks, and we're
2 weeks.
Of course. Andrew, I want to give you a chance just to say where you see yourself in the next 5 years after having gone through this experience.
Yeah, in 5 years, like I said, I hope I can become an engineer. Well, I shouldn't say I hope. I know I will become an engineer, and it'll be very exciting to see how far I can push myself and how far I can push the boundaries of technology and how many people I can help. And I really have to thank Metallica Scholarship, too, for really just bringing me here and help motivating me, too, because this is a big motivation.
That's great.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
She's going to tell the band you said that.
I am. I already have.
That's great.
No, on behalf of all the community and technical colleges across the country, American Association of Community Colleges is really proud to be that membership organization for any of the trades, any of the experiences in the workforce and economic development space. We do believe that we are that rapid solution. We do believe that we are that industry relevant solution, and we do want to be your partner meaningfully and truly. So I'm really looking forward to seeing any of you right after this, but I hope you do follow up with me and my fellow panelists. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you so much for representing all the students across the country in this thing.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Craig, for running National Coalition of Advanced Technology Centers. And most importantly, thank you, Renee, and thanks to the band, and thank you to the foundation so much for investing in America's community and technical colleges. This is a wonderful example of what we can do when we all do it together, foundations, companies, and students. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to IMTS and AMT for giving us the stage and this platform.
Thanks for having us.
It's been a pleasure. Rock on, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.